Hey guys, Anna Green here with Anna Be Changing. I'm here to help you believe in yourself again, take action, and create your story. So let's dive in. The last week, I brought you a series about mindset and kind of blowing up your barriers. And when I brought you the last episode on that, one thing that we talked about was, what do you want to have the next series be? And the people that were on that voted was self-doubt. That's what they wanted to talk about. Well, funny that. I'm a pro in self-doubt. I know a lot about not only self-doubt, but how to, I don't want to say overcome it, because I don't know that that's necessarily realistic. If you're a person who has self-doubt, it's likely been ingrained in you since you were super young, and it's been with you for a really, really long time. So I don't want to say you can overcome it completely necessarily. Perhaps you can. I'm in the middle of it right now. So I don't want to say that you can overcome it when I haven't experienced it personally, right? I don't want to lead you in the wrong direction. But what I do want to do is share with you a little bit of my experience and a little more about my story in the last few years, and then turn that and take it into a full series that will help you to learn the things that I've learned, and the tricks and the tools that I've used for myself, and give you some action that you can take on that too if you struggle with self-doubt like I do. So I'll start with my journey. I started about 3.5 years ago with just wanting to lose weight, right? A lot of people start journeys to better wellness and health and different things like that in that same place. My youngest daughter was a year old, and I had kept in my mind, I had convinced myself that the fact that I was almost 200 pounds on a 5'4" frame, and technically in the classifications, I was obese. I had convinced myself that that was because, oh, I had 2 kids. Okay, I just had a baby, is what I kept telling myself. Well, come to be her 1-year birthday, I realized, okay, you didn't just have a baby, all right? It was basically an excuse that I allowed myself to have. I didn't take care of me. I didn't prioritize me at all. I didn't pay attention to what I was eating. I went with convenience. Fast food was a staple around our place, especially at work. Oh my gosh, I never brought anything with me. We'd always go out and grab something at lunch and take it back and work at my desk. It's what I did. I was not taking care of myself. So I finally got to that point where originally I just said, I want to lose weight. Okay. I didn't know what I could do with 2 kids and a 50+ hour job, or 50+ hour a week job that I had at the time, and lots of travel for that job. I couldn't figure out how I could make it work. So I found something that worked. It happened to be, for me, in-home fitness and drinking some superfoods and eating healthy, eating clean, completely changed the way that I was functioning, basically. And it was absolutely a lifesaver for me. And I don't say that lightly. I would have been headed down a very just kind of humdrum path, and I've got so many things in my family that are hereditary. Oh my gosh, I would have wound up with any number of them the way that I was heading. So the solution that I found was the one that worked for me. And what happened was I wound up in 90 days with the program that I chose. I lost over 14 pounds. I lost 30 inches, which was insane, but I did. And I lost 4 dress sizes in 3 months. And I started believing in myself again, and people started noticing and started asking me what I was doing. And so I decided to become a coach and help other people do what I was doing. And all of this momentum started to happen, and it was all wonderful and great and good. What I found at the end of this is I found that I was starting to challenge myself. I was starting to take more risks, which is wonderful. But my husband and I, we made the decision that I was going to leave my job that I had for over 10 years in the corporate world. So I've had all this weight loss success. I've had wonderful friends and family support me with that. I have clients that I'm bringing in as a coach. I'm feeling on top of the world. And we make a big decision as my oldest daughter is starting kindergarten for me to stay home, work on my coaching business, and to continue just, down the path that I was continuing on. Well, what happened when I started doing that, I took my corporate career out of it, and I became someone who lost her identity a little bit, because I didn't realize how much my identity was wrapped up in my job, was wrapped up in my career. So when that came out of the picture, that was like the first layer that kind of got shed in that. And previous layers that were shed in that was my weight. So for many people, and I'm going to speak for myself in this, if you're overweight, there's a reason for that. It's not just your genes. It's not just a genetic. It's not necessarily just some conditions that you might have. There's a purpose for that weight, even if you don't realize it. For me, what I found after I lost the weight, I didn't find it until then. What I found is the purpose that weight was there was it was a shield. It was protecting me. I was protecting myself with all of this extra weight. I was protecting myself from living my dreams. I was protecting myself from being able to be fully present with my daughters. I don't know, it's hard to be completely present and not also get hurt. You're going to get hurt with your kids. You're going to get your heart hurt and those kind of things. I was protecting myself from doing anything other than just status quo, surviving, definitely not thriving. I was protecting myself from going out and, maybe being rejected and all of these things that came back from childhood where I wasn't the cool kid, right? I was made fun of. I wasn't in the cool crowd. I was a music theater geek, right? All of those things came back. I didn't realize that I was protecting myself from all of this stuff that I never really fully dealt with before. So what happened when I was in this original part of my journey, all I came in with and all I focused on was weight, just a number on the scale. That's all I wanted. That's what I told myself was all that I wanted. So when I started to get towards that number, why didn't I start feeling better? I did physically. I had more energy. But why didn't I start feeling better about me? Why did my heart still hurt? Why was I still shy? Why was I still not able to really do the things that I knew in my heart I wanted to do and I felt compelled to do? But every time I tipped my toe out, why did I always pull it back? Those are the questions that I was afraid to ask before. But once that weight came off, I was faced with them. They were sitting right there. They weren't hidden anymore. So what I decided to do about almost 2 years ago now, after the first, year and a half of just that weight success and all this kind of stuff, where physically on the outside all is well and good. About 2 years ago, I decided, okay, that's not enough for me. When I just focus on the physical portion of things, I didn't feel fulfilled. I loved working out. I had a good time. I enjoyed how I was looking. I enjoyed how I was feeling. But like I said, my head and my heart were not matching what I had worked on. So what I started to do then is I had to make a decision to be vulnerable with myself and take some risks with myself and be brave and be willing to ask those hard questions of myself in why was I not believing in myself? Why was I treating myself the way that I was treating myself as far as not taking care of me and what I was eating and all of those kind of things? Why was I putting myself last? Why did I have that excess weight as my barrier, as my, protector, my shield? Why did I have that? What was causing all of this self-doubt and insecurity that I had? I had to commit to asking those questions of myself and be willing to really look into that and see, what is this? What is going on? Because I certainly made that decision that I didn't want to just go back to how I was and say, okay, I'm going to put that protective shield of weight back on and just live in that life. Again, like I was talking about, that life of survival, which a lot of you might be in that same place. I was there for a very, very long time. That life of survival, just not really challenging yourself, not being, you know, not a lot of highs, not a lot of lows, just right along the line. I didn't want to do that anymore. So for the past 2 years, what I've done is I really committed to focusing on my mind, focusing on my heart, focusing on my spirit, and digging into where that comes from. And that's where I didn't even realize that I had self-doubt. I didn't know that until I had lost the weight. So that's the biggest part of this journey for me, is just discovering that that was a barrier for myself. So what I've done in that past couple of years is I decided to go and get some therapy sessions, which I know there's a big stigma about that, but there doesn't need to be. You go to a doctor if you're not feeling well physically. What's the difference between going to a therapist if you're not feeling well emotionally? No difference in my book. So I went to a therapist and had some amazing, amazing revelations and experiences that I'll share with you through the rest of this series. And then, as many of you know, in the past year, my dad passed away, right? So it's been back and forth and back and forth emotionally, going all sorts of different directions. So again, that took me to a place where I wanted to protect myself, right? I wanted that shield back. I was still working in mental and emotional, working through to figure out, what is this all about? What is going on here? Why do I connect food to emotion? Why do I connect food to not caring about me? Why is that where I go to? All of those kind of things. As I've been working through that, that grief started to set in as well. So I was working on the mental part of it. I was working on my heart, but I again lost sight of focusing on my body and focusing on physical, what I was doing, how I was treating myself that way. And instead of, I kind of flipped it, where I was treating myself really well physically and the nutrition and that kind of stuff, but I wasn't paying attention to the mental, emotional side of things, my spirit. I flipped it and I completely focused on my spirit and lost my focus on physical and nutrition. So it's like I was here, I was way over here, and then I came over here, then I went back over there, and what I'm searching for is right here, right in the middle, right? I think a lot of us are. So that's the path that I'm headed on. I'm not there yet, but I wanted to share with you where I've been going and how I've been navigating this journey, because there's nothing to be ashamed of in any of it. If you go to therapy, if you are on emotional eater, if you have self-doubt, if you don't have the confidence that you'd like to have, if you judge yourself and you're fearing that others are going to judge you as well, if you're afraid to take risks, any number of these things, you are not alone in any of this. I am right alongside with you, and I know that so many other people are. So that's part of what I'm going to be sharing in this series, is where I am, which is what I just shared with you, and then what I'm doing and what I have been doing to move forward in that and gain more confidence and have that self-doubt kind of get brushed under the rug a little bit, not in a hiding way, but really replacing it with other things that are more beneficial to me, and I hope you'll find to you as well. So if that's anything that you struggle with, I really encourage you and invite you to join me on the rest of this series, the remainder of this week. Tomorrow I'll be kind of finishing this to be continued from today to tomorrow, talking about one of the first things that I realized I struggled with was a fear of judgment, being judged by others, and also a fear of just kind of judging myself. I didn't realize that I was judging myself while I was trying to not be judged by others. So I'll share more about that tomorrow. Again, if you have any questions or comments or anything like that. I am an open book to you guys. Anything that I can do to be helpful in your journey is I'm always willing to do that. So thank you for supporting me. Thank you for joining me on my journey and watching me as I go and I grow. And I hope that you're willing to kind of take some of the same risks in your life and ask yourself some of the same questions so that you can find the growth that's really amazing on the other side as well. So thank you guys again for joining, and have a wonderful night. We'll see you again tomorrow.